Here are my top 5 underrated but awesome illusion spells in Pathfinder 2e. Lose the Path. I've talked before on this channel about how good difficult terrain is, but Lose the Path can take it to a whole nother level. As a reaction, if a creature within 60 feet strides, you can force them to make a will saving throw. If they fail this will saving throw, then all squares during that stride are considered difficult terrain to that creature. But if they critically fail their saving throw, you also control where they move. But you can't move them into hazardous terrain or off a cliff or something. But this is not forced movement, which means it provokes reactions. So what you can do is move them in such a way that it will provoke attacks of opportunity from, say, I don't know, how about the fighter? You can move them away from you, you can move them toward you, so you can hit them with a touch spell on your next turn. There's a lot of things you can do with this spell, and it's a level 1 spell. Meaning you have access to this from day 1. Shadow Projectile. With Shadow Projectile, as a reaction, if an ally within 20 feet makes a ranged attack roll, you can create an illusory duplicate of that projectile and launch it at the same target. This requires a will saving throw from the target. Even if the target succeeds on their saving throw, they are unsure which projectile to avoid and are therefore flat-footed against the ally's attack. If they fail their saving throw, they are also flat-footed against the ally's attack, and they take the full 3d8 mental damage from your projectile. If they critically fail, they take double the mental damage. If you've got a ranged rogue in the party, this is definitely one you want to pick up, because it's always nice to give that rogue that nice sneak attack, because they're flat-footed against their attack even if they succeed on their saving throw. But lowering the AC of an enemy for an ally is always a good thing, because it means more of a chance to crit. And you can combine this with other spells to lower their AC even more. Oneric Mire. For 3 actions, you can make a 20-foot burst area within 120 feet difficult terrain for 1 minute. In addition, creatures that are in the area when you cast a spell or enter the area must make a will saving throw. If they fail, they believe they are being pulled down into the earth, taking a -10 penalty to their speed. If they critically fail, they're immobilized. They can attempt to escape as normal, or they can attempt will saving throws to disbelieve the illusion. If they critically succeed on any of their will saves, then they no longer need to make will saves against this spell, but the area is still difficult terrain. Again, difficult terrain is a lot better than people think it is, and this one takes it to a whole nother level, just like Lose the Path. Even if they don't fail on their saving throw, they're still moving at half movement, and if they do fail on their saving throw, then they're losing another 10 feet of their speed. And if they critically fail, they're not going anywhere, making this spell great for any party that has a bunch of ranged attackers. Mirror's Misfortune. Mirror's Misfortune allows you to create an illusory duplicate of yourself, and you seem to split in 2 when you cast this spell. You can give the duplicate simple commands such as moving to a certain space or waving its hands in the air, but more complex commands are beyond its abilities. A creature can only distinguish between you and the duplicate if it spends an action to seek and succeeds on a perception check against your spell DC. If a creature attempts a hostile action against the duplicate shatters into mirror-like shards, causing bad luck on the attacker. This ends the spell, but the attacker must make a will saving throw. If they fail, within the next hour, they must attempt their next 2 attack rolls twice and take the lower results. If they critically fail, they must attempt their next 4 attack rolls twice and take the lower result within the next hour. Not only does this spell make it harder for enemies to target you, but the bad luck affects them even if they attack somebody else. Unfortunately, the duplicate can't really flank with allies, and it can't really do anything other than simple commands. But it's still a fantastic spell because the bad luck really helps. Strange Geometry. Strange Geometry creates 4 cubes 10 foot on each side. These cubes cannot be adjacent to one another. A creature in one of the cubes, or one that enters one later, must make a will saving throw. A creature that interacts with one of the cubes can also make a will save as normal. All terrain in the cubes is difficult terrain if they fail their will saving throw. And that includes the air if it's flying, and any walls it's climbing, and so on. When a creature exits a cube, it exits one randomly chosen by the GM. It can exit from any edge of that cube it chooses. When selecting a random cube, the GM excludes any cube that doesn't have an edge that matches the creature's terrain. For example, if the creature exited a cube that was on the ground, the GM would exclude any cube that doesn't have an exit on the ground. This one isn't that great for combat, but if you want to make a creature lost, this is a fantastic way to do it. It is a matter of putting the cubes in the right spaces, but this is an excellent way to confuse enemies. In fact, if you could somehow make this spell permanent, this would be a fantastic spell to put in your home base. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know what you think of these spells and other underrated illusion spells in the comments below. Also, if you're interested in other underrated spells from other schools of magic, you can check out these videos here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.